I have a successful multiple six-figure business, but this is really not what I want to do anymore. But it was sort of like the treadmill in their own little microcosm, if you will, not the corporate treadmill where you're a prison, but we become prisoner to our own vanity, sometimes prisoner to our own egos, and prisoner to our own process. Like it is a thing that happens, man. Like trust me, I know. And by the way, everything that I talk about on this show is the shit that I have gone through in my own self awareness. Not that I have figured it out, but these are the things that I have done for myself to sort of figure out how do I actually want to show up in the world, which is now how I'm working with my clients is like, how do you want to show up? So anyhow, a client comes to you is like, Charlie, I'm just burnt out or whatever it is. I'm working literally 24/7. I have a successful multiple six-figure business, but this is really not what I want to do anymore. How do you respond to someone like that?
Well, I mean, my first question to them
Pretend
is,
let's role play. So I'm the
yeah,
client.
yeah. So my friend Austin Church, who's a freelance expert, always uses these 9 words. I always say, that depends. What do you want to see happen?
Hmm.
What do you want to happen next? And that helps us kind of reset the entire picture and say, okay, well, you're doing a lot of things really well. If you want to go from here to there, these are some of the things that we can consider. The phrase I use all the time with every single one of my clients is, I will try my hardest to not be prescriptive. If something is just flat broke, I'll tell you to fix it. But at the end of the day, we'll have a conversation and we'll collaborate together to figure out what is going to take more off of your plate so that you can do more of what you love. And I think that's where a lot of founders find themselves, Devo, is they've taken on too much, or they've tried to delegate and it hasn't worked in their favor. So sometimes it's just finding a system that's nicer to them, or a system that talks to the other systems in a better way. A lot of times it's literally just having that conversation, right? Like sometimes just talking it out makes the difference. And for somebody to go, "You're not crazy, by the way. Like you're pretty normal as far as a business owner goes." And there are opportunities that we're going to discover together that are going to take you from here to there.
Love that. Thank you for that thorough response. So I'm going to tell you what I ask somebody, if that's okay with you.
Please. Yeah.
Similar situation. I reframe that and I say, if you had to do this for the rest of your life, but you wouldn't get paid, but you still had to serve and help or solve a problem for somebody, for something, what would you do? And then I want you to go home for the night and make a list on all the things that you really love doing. And then we're going to talk about those in our next call. And what that does is if you're not going to get paid, you're relying purely 100% on what it is you actually love doing. And it still can serve and solve a problem. And that's how I approach that question. So very unique perspectives from both of us. Both of them are right. Neither of them are necessarily better for you or the other. You just have to sort of find out what works for people. And that's exactly what Charlie does. So, all right, we're going to jump into the hot seat if that's cool with you.
Let's go.
So these are a quick rattle of questions. The first word that comes to your mind, first thing that comes to your mind. What is one belief about yourself that you've had to outgrow?
Ooh. That I am the most unique snowflake in Alaska.
What would you say if you could limit it to one emotion, fear, scarcity, opportunity, whatever it is? What is one emotion that built your first chapter in your business?
Optimism. I mean, that sounds cliche. It's just having a optimistic perspective.
What emotion is building your next chapter?
Grit and determination.
Mm. What is one moment that you're super proud of, but you don't talk about it?
I got to help tell the world that one of my clients set a Guinness Book World Record.
Well, that's cool. If your life was a book, what's the title of your current chapter?
That seemed like a good idea.
You're all about clarity. So what is a central belief about clarity that you've had to unlearn to do what you do today?
It has absolutely nothing to do with certainty.
I like that. What is the single most important question that you ask yourself most often when you feel stuck?
What is it like to be on the receiving end of whatever I'm about to create?
I could tell you were a pastor. What's one decision in your career that looked like a failure, it ultimately became sort of a cornerstone of your entire being?
ran a nine variant test once that completely broke stakeholders' brains because what they thought was going to win was like dead last.
What is the one thing people always misunderstand about you on the first impression? So I can't read today.
My last name is really sells.
I didn't think otherwise, to be honest with you.
It's a great conversation starter.
That's funny. What do you think is the most radical thing you've ever done in terms of your life or in terms of your business or just in terms of who you are?
I could make every single case about why I shouldn't have, gone out on my own because I've only worked for people and now I like to work with people.
Hmm. My last two questions. What is the hill you're going to die on? Something you believe in at your deepest, most inner core that you will die on till death do you part.
I mean, it's my business name. It's that clarity matters more than anything else. The clearest ideas are the ones that win, not the cleverest, not the most creative. It's always about the clearest.